Okay, quick gut check. If your Claude bill jumped recently and you're on Fable 5, it is probably not just because you're using it more. Fable 5 is priced at $10 per million input tokens and $50 per million output tokens. That's double what Opus 4.8 costs, and it is currently the most expensive general use model Anthropic offers. But here's the part almost nobody checks. There are at least 5 ways you can be quietly burning through tokens on Fable 5 without ever noticing, and one of them isn't even something you did wrong. It is just how the model works now. Stick with me because reason one alone can change your bill without you touching a single line of code. Reason one, the new tokenizer is eating more of your budget than you think. Fabify uses a new tokenizer than older cloud models like Sonnet 4.6, and here's the part that catches people off guard. This new tokenizer produces roughly 30% more tokens for the exact same pieces of text. So, if you're estimating your Fabify cost based on how many tokens a prompt used to take on an older model, you're underestimating. The same paragraph, the same code file, the same document costs more tokens now, just because of how the text gets split up under the hood. The fix here isn't complicated. It is just awareness. When you're budgeting or estimating costs for Fablify specifically, don't reuse old token count assumptions from Sonnet 4.6 or earlier models. Recount, or better, check your actual usage dashboard instead of estimating from memory. Reason two, you're not using prompt caching. So if you're paying full price every single turn, if you're sending the same system prompt, the same instructions, or the same reference documents on every call, and you're not caching them, you're paying the full $10 input rate every time for the content that never changes. With caching turned on, the same repeated content drops to roughly $1 per million tokens instead of 10. That's not a small optimization. That's the single biggest lever most people are leaving on the table. If you're using Claude Code, caching is already on by default. You don't need to do anything. But if you're calling the API directly yourself, you need to explicitly mark your system prompt and tool definition as cacheable. If you skip this step, you are paying full price for zero extra benefit. Reason 3, you're letting Fablify write way more output than you actually need. Here's the thing about output tokens. They are priced at $50 per million, 5 times more expensive than input. And Fable 5 will happily generate a very long response if you don't tell it not to. A single uncapped verbose response can rack up a real cost just in output alone. The fix is one setting. Explicitly set a max token limit on your output. For most coding tasks, a few thousand tokens is plenty. You're not losing quality by capping it. You're just stopping the model from padding a response longer than the task actually needed. Reason 4, you're using Fable 5 for tasks that never needed it in the first place. Fable 5 earns its price on genuinely hard, long running, high stakes work. Deep reasoning, complex multi step agent tasks, things where getting it right the first time actually matters. It does not need to be your default model for routine work. If you are running simple classification, formatting, or short everyday tasks through Fable 5 out of habit, you're playing double Opus price for work that a cheaper model handles just as well. Set a cheaper model as your actual default and reach for Fable 5 deliberately only when the task genuinely calls for it. That one habit changes alone can cut a team's bill significantly with no real quality loss on everyday tasks. Reason 5, you're not using the batch API for work that doesn't need to happen in real time. If you're running bulk document review, offline analysis, dataset labeling, or anything that can wait for a few minutes or run overnight, the batch API gives you a straight 50% discount on both input and output tokens automatically. That's not a caching optimization or a clever prompt trick. It's just a checkbox you're not ticking for async work that never needed to be real time in the first place. So, a quick recap. Watch for the tokenizer difference when estimating cost. Turn on caching for anything repeated. Cap your output tokens explicitly. Don't default to Fable 5 for routine work and batch anything that can wait. None of these require you to Fable 5 less on the work that actually needs it. They just stop you from quietly paying premium prices for things that were never premium tasks to begin with. if you want the actual checklist I run through before scaling any Fablefy workload. It is in the description, and if this helped, subscribe and watch this video next.